think the bigger, like where my mind goes is how there's like two things. I think it's important to meet people where they are, to understand, just to extend grace to people in some
Yeah.
capacity. Two is to do what you're saying, like be the demonstration. And also the reminder that what you put out, you get back in return as well.
Yes.
I think it's important to like maybe when you have these interactions with people and they may like you make you feel some kind of way, lean into the four agreements. There's a playlist, go watch that, look it up. The four agreements really does help you to be in
Yes.
community with other people and in such a way that I feel can help at this very challenging time that we're in right now on earth. And then the other one is the need to build community, the the need to feel inspired. Let me say that, inspired to build community. A lot of people aren't inspired to build community because of, I think really in the South is because we have this performative acknowledgement of people. People aren't inspired to build community because they don't feel that there's a realness that can come from that because we're just performing like, hey, how you doing? The head now, da, 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 da. There's that
Mhm.
disconnection. So it's not really landing in that way. And I think all of that filters right back to we need to be selfish in being how we want to have interactions and exchanges with other people. And I
Mhm.
think a lot of times we don't do that. We can pick apart how other people are responding to us, but I think it's important to like, how can I be that demonstration unapologetically? I
Mhm.
think that's the
Mhm.
key.
Mhm.
Unapologetically, like, okay, maybe they're having a bad day. And you
Yeah,
never
exactly.
know when, like, I've read so many people share that someone smiled at them and they didn't know how they needed that smile and it saved their life.
Facts.
So I think
Facts.
we just kind of have to let people be where they are because we don't know where they are in their journey. Maybe they just found out their grandmother just passed and they're
Mhm.
normally the ones that are super like friendly and they're just not there. Um we're just trying to we're figuring this shit out as we go. And start within your own structure.
Mhm.
One of the things that me and my friends have, one friend in particular, whenever we meet for dinner, we turn our phones off. And then I have
Yes.
another friend that has kids. She puts her phone on do not disturb, but if her kids call, it'll come through.
Mhm. Mhm.
So these, I think,
Mhm.
that's how you can start to have those meaningful connections with the people that you identify that really do mean a lot to you. Start there, start building within that frame of of connection. That's how you build meaningful connection. I think sometimes we're seeking meaningful connection from strangers, like who's sitting right in front of you that you're ignoring.
Mhm.
A lot of times it's ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. I I'm right there with you. Like I said, I've come to in that growth and wanting to share exactly what we were talking about. And like I said, someone had brought that conversation up, and because it was already, brought up by Spirit
Mm-hmm.
that we have this and having our perspectives bounce to give that because yes, I don't, it's just like I was just walking Saturday and I'm going and I am into my music. I am very aware. Seeing what's showing up for me, especially my birds
I love them
and
birds.
yeah, I mean, a couple of them showed up, but and walking, and the other one, I guess she asked us and whatchamacallit, and I was doing my thing and I did a little this, wasn't no response. I said a few things to myself and I was like, keep it moving because
I have to say something too, right? So I'm like
mm-hmm,
looking back, like when there's moments when I'm like on these walking trails and I don't
mm-hmm.
really want to be bothered. So is it rude that I don't? Because there's so many people on the trail. Like I'll be constant, hey, 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 hey. Um,
A nod is this
I
is
don't, but
good.
see, no,
You don't want to nod either?
I know because I just want to take in the nature. I don't want to take in the people because
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to escape from the people. And I think because I live in such a large city where there's so many people, and I think too, when you're around people, there's so many people, you can get overwhelmed constantly feeling like you have to speak to everybody. But I think there's some settings where it does make sense. I think if like you're all like on a train, come on now. Maybe the people that are around you, but do you need to say like, "Hey, everybody on the train"? Maybe that's a bit
Not so
extreme.
much. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
I could do
like if
that,
you're
but
like
I
in the
could.
office or like if you're standing next to someone to get on the train, like acknowledge them, not necessarily like do you need to turn around and acknowledge the people that are directly behind you? Maybe not so much. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I just don't, it's not personal. I just don't want to be around people and I can't help but be around people in certain places
Right.
in the city, and it's not personal. It's not that I don't recognize you. I can feel your energy,
Mm-hmm.
but I also don't want to have like I don't want that right now. I think because there's moments where I'm trying to like retune myself, kind of like re-energize myself. I just don't have the energy to engage with other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's not personal, it's just
I
me
understand.
recognizing that. But I also can see on the flip side someone may look at me like, dang, like she's real cold and like mm. I nodded her and she didn't even like nod back, and it's like I probably didn't even see you because I'm tuning out and just kind of taking in the nature that I'm
Mm-hmm.
in, especially when I'm on these walking trails, like because there's so many people on the trail that
Hmm.
I wish wasn't there, right?
That's
But
interesting.
so this just kind of like something I was thinking of like, oh, I've done that before where I just tune out the people around me because I don't feel like peopling. Because I've already peopled like before. Like this is my time to just be with myself and I don't want to have to take in other people.
Oh, that's probably just that really, really, really deep in empath and because
Yeah.
well, and I get that, and I don't know, maybe it's something about my because I'm very empathic too, and like sometimes I come back from the energy, and that's why I know that there's a time that I had to shield and know my demeanor changed because the energy in the city
It's so different,
is
right?
oh my God. I remember, certain street and I'm jamming and all of a sudden my face changed and that was an awareness that I had and I was getting into,
very,
mode and I was like, oh
very
no.
stoic.
Oh girl. Mm-mm. Yeah, child. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So that was an awareness, and so now I'm more aware that does not happen anymore. But when you're talking about the trails, and I like going on them, I've never had it when there was 55 million people around, but just this is just a thought, not a change, just a thought that those people on the trail are doing the same thing that you are doing and should be connected kind of like you. So their energy should be a little different. That it'd be like when they walking by, you just keep on going, like
Some
that.
people are creepy. You have to realize some people walk the trails to watch people. I'm just
Ah,
saying you have like
that's another thing that kind
I,
of came up. But yeah, I mean,
there's layers to this. I think we have to just extend people a little bit of grace, right?
yeah,
Um,
that's why I said not
because you
taking it
just kind of
personal.
never know. Yeah, but I do recognize, I think that highlights the bigger overarching issue is that there's a lack of connection and honoring people in this world, right? Because I
Yeah.
should be able, because you have so many people. Like, I recognize I'm on the trail because I'm tired of peopling. Why am I tired of peopling? Because I'm in a world that forces us to like to be in these really inauthentic connections that are really draining. So
Mm.
I have to insert myself into situations and connections sometimes. I'm blessed that I work for myself, but I still have to people. Like, I still have to interact and engage in the world.
Yeah, coaching is
And
something.
sometimes
Yeah.
it's a bit exhausting energetically because
Hmm.
I'm always reading between the lines of what people say, and people say things and their energy reads very differently. And I'm in that state of deciphering of what they're saying versus what I'm like, and then sitting with, okay, what, how can I connect with them purposefully in this moment? But
You
it's
just
a
made me
layer
think of something.
conversation.
Yeah.
What are you
Well, when
thinking
I'm
of?
looking at when you're talking about trying to de-stress, so when I look at going to the lake, the Great Lake that's out here, um, there's one place where there's a lot of people, and I know when I try to park my car somewhere, I'm sitting except for going to walk, to try to set myself where nobody blocks my view because I'm trying to connect with the water.
Right?
Um, but I have to understand that everybody's going there for whatever. There's a couple of people that fish from this one spot, and I like the brightness of the 55th Street Pier. And then there's another one where I'd have to go more on the west side to connect with this other part of the water. Then there's another one off of here over on Lakeshore that I found to be another more probably connected spot. I haven't walked it. The other one on the west side, I haven't done those trails, but there's not where there wouldn't be a lot of people. But what I'm thinking of, if there's a lot of people, I have other trails. Now there's one out here that's down A2 where there would be less people
Yeah.
to connect with. And so depending on where you are, that, you try to find the lesser trail. And I know that there's not 50 million people on that trail, or going out to the other one where there's another way, to connect with the water where I have an unobstructed view, or just sitting and just connecting where you can tune people out. But when it comes, it's just like when I was in the hospital, there's somebody's walked by people and there's just no, I mean, there is just nothing. So what I've come to find out, there's some people who I can tell right away that, I mean, if I speak, they ain't gonna speak. If I do, it's because I just desire to. And there's other ones, well, it's like you can tell where they're not even gonna, they don't even see you. I mean, don't
Yeah.
see you, like you said, don't see. So it's just like, okay, that's not a problem. But I understand, my generation understand the woman who I spoke with, who mentioned that conversation, and we've kind of hit on the points, and that's where that we, understand kind of what's going on, but we definitely um a desire to see a more connective space where we recognize our
Definitely.
purpose here,
Definitely. Yeah.
and like you said, a smile, you just made somebody's day, or stand in the line, you say something to somebody and they's like, oh my God, thank you. And I'm just being me. Or they've said something to me and I was like, okay, that's, I may know it, I may not, but that's just spirit saying, hey, just bringing this back to the forefront, or learning something that you didn't know, because we all come from many different aspects and places and cultures, and just looking at some of the stars where somebody's from that small town. I'm like, really? Or that town. And I know people in certain other towns need to come out of their towns and need to get out and understand and meet other people, because your
Yeah.
judgments and your assumptions by what you see on TV, what you do on the phone, ain't the reality of meeting me. you know,
No, it's never,
or the
it's not
reality of
real.
meeting
That's not
you or
real. TV is
anybody.
not real,
But they put the
people.
judgment where people would think that
Yeah.
this person, because of you, this culture, in this culture, you this way and that way. It's not that. Yeah, we got a certain way we talk. We got a certain way that everybody talk, whether you're Filipino, whether you're this, whether you're that, but to have that understanding is that we were put here to learn and to integrate and to do and to take back and woosah. Because there's a lot of woosah that need to be done because people are so anxious right now. And that awakening of coming and learning and growing and connecting with your inner self, that transformation, I'm all about transformation, as you well know, and I'm more so about it at the soul field level
Mm,
because we're people don't like the word. I had to find another word, but it is what it is because I had to understand that even though I functioned very greatly, I was still suffering in this, being this because of certain things that I don't understand, certain things that had to be released, certain things that I'll be talking about here under the term of perfectionism, which there's a whole bunch other than the definition that I'll be speaking about. And it looks like that's where it's like, you need to do this now because this is not about you. It's not for you. You've done it now. You need to share it. So,
mhm.
because
Real.
because what I have is not just for me, you know. Yeah, what I have is not just for me. And so the same way that the people from Tony to Dean to Yana to Bob and to Proctor, all of them that I dealt with in the earlier stages, it just wasn't integrated. And I didn't have people say they called, do this and do this. So I had to do it myself. Now I understand that I have people right now that need, and then I have God for whom is expressing that. So with us in honoring one another, like you said, is that we have to honor ourselves first. And we have to go
Mm,
within and understand that the outside world is not our idea. Well, it's our inside world. My
yeah.
connection when stuff goes on and things are not really right, or I'm getting a signal that I probably shouldn't do A, B, and C, it resides in my stomach. My stomach will feel really funky, really, really funky. And that means no to whatever it is that I'm thinking about doing, or maybe I've done, and maybe sometime I have to pull back. But I'm a trust in my inner spirit, the I am of me. And so that's where I see people are lost when we call the walking dead. That's not a dig, it's just the truth when we're zombied out or somewhere so much that and the worry and the anxiety so far. It says eyes when you're too far in the future, whereas it's too bad in the past, and then being in the present moment, everything in the present moment is okay. And if you sit still, which I know has been a challenge in the essence of each other, we can become more connected to ourselves, which will allow us to recognize and connect with one another. Family, stranger, matter.
That's true. I'm curious to
But that's
know if people who
we've created these barriers that we
are
need to break.
introverted versus like introverted versus extroverted, how they fill into the experience of what we're talking about, like the not acknowledging people. Um, I'm just kind of
Fear.
I'm kind of curious because I recognize that I like so I have like my I always think of like my cousin because we're like me and her like night and day, like night and day. And my grandmother used to always compare. Hold on, my chair is going down. I need to mute myself. My grandma's like, no, you don't you do it. Don't you talk
Uh,
about me on this podcast. I was getting ready to talk about my grandmother and the chair went down.
mm.
So we're gonna pivot away from talking about her.
Ah.
Um, because I listen to my ancestors.
Mhm.
But I
That's funny.
look at us and just some of the challenges that I had growing up because I was so different than her, and it was easier for other people in the family to relate to her because everyone in the family was very extroverted and it was very loud and like on my
I
mom's side
understand.
just very like rambunctious and to the point where if you didn't know them you would think that they were getting ready to fight each other, but that's just how they talk. They if you
Yep, yep,
listen to
yep,
what they
yep,
were
yep, yep.
saying, it
Straight
wasn't that.
country.
For me, growing up as a child, it was just too much energy and I would just shut
Oh,
down because it was just like, oh my God, this is a,
I was
like what,
intrigued.
what? Where my cousin was like, yeah, let's get the like. She was like all in it, and I was just like, no, I just want to go outside. I'm good. But the point I'm trying to make too is that it's so important to recognize that sometimes people are just in a space where they're at their capacity to like engage with other people. I think I can speak
Yeah,
to this much more comfortably because I recognize that's how I am and I've had to let go of feeling like I need to perform in this way in the world. And it's like, no, you're tired. It's okay, girl. Like we know where your heart is, we know where your intentions are. And I also recognize other people who are much more like tap dancing and like pop locking and dropping it and like doing what she's doing. Doesn't matter. They do it 24/7. And some people they feed off of other people externally. Mine, I get
yes.
recharged. I need to go silent. That's why when I'm on that trail, I don't need to talk to you. I can't see you because I just can't because I'm my capacity to see you has been depleted.
Yeah,
And it's not
yeah.
personal. And I think we really do have to stop taking things so
So
personally.
personally, I agree. That's what I
And
was saying in the beginning.
also, it goes back to building community. Like you think of the small town communities where everyone knows everybody, right? And so
Hmm.
they know like, oh, that's Marina. You know, Marina just, you know, like during this time of day, she usually don't talk to people or like, or oh, like, oh, Marina's gardening, leave her alone, give her space. I think if we can get in community where we start to understand the people that live in our community on such
Hmm.
a deep level,
Hmm.
we'll have such greater connections because we meet people where they are and we respect each other and
Yeah,
honoring that unique expression of God
yeah.
as well.
Well, introvert, extrovert, that's what I was talking about. Ambiverts earlier, even kill between that. It
What is
might
an
be
amber? What is that? That's like,
a even kill between being an introvert and an extrovert.
what does that mean?
So you're like on that equal, just like with the equation, you're like on that equal. So
Like,
you
please
have,
tell me what that means.
oh God, let me see. Whatchamacallit had put it up there. And so I
So you're like
understood it.
in
So
between, is what
so
you're
you're
saying?
kind of neutral. So like I
Neutral.
am, and I think that my
I'm gonna have to look that.
extrovertedness might be a little up. You can look it up. I mean, ambivert,
Ambivert.
yeah, because I remember being able to say it, but I guess I haven't defined it in the world definition of an ambivert. So it's
Okay, I looked it up. It says an ambivert is a person who exhibits traits of both introversion and extroversion, finding a balance between the two rather than being solely one or the other.
right. It's a balance.
I feel
So most people are just
adaptability.
totally
Okay.
they're just like that. So the amber is the one that's even. So there's times where I am good in my own space. And then there's times I want to be out, and when I'm out, I'm just the extrovert in me just comes out. But most of the time,
I'm
if
an
I walk
ambivert.
into a room, like the room that I'll be going into later, I will come in and I will assess the room.
Of course,
I
you
will
read the room.
ass- I
Mhm.
will assess the room. Um, and if someone was to approach me, then I will probably be in extrovert mode. I will go there automatically. It's just like someone that was being introduced to me by a relative, and this person said something to her. Where are you? Said something to her, and about I don't think your cousin likes me. Well, she know that my cousin don't know you. And I'm observing your purpose and why you here and what do you have to do because of the protective nature that I am. And I have to get to feel you out first before, I'm going in. I'll speak to you because I am courteous. No, I honor you, but I'm gonna just get into that. Now the Spirit allowed me to have this back and forth, but I'm very much an observer first. I'm gonna check out the surroundings, gonna see what's going on, more read the room than I ever had before, because me, I just go in as me. And so looking at that. So in extrovert coming up, everybody, my grandma and I just watched, and people who were very outspoken, I really, really thought they were really cool because I wasn't. Things of that nature. It's just like the woman who plays in Tyler Perry's movie, Why That Didn't Get Married. She's a crazy loud. Now she really loud in her character in this one. So it's just different things in
Angela.
that nature when we see people. Yeah, she's
Angela.
on another one, but you just gotta appreciate her character, even in this other one on Netflix, where she's the friend. I think this one, whatchamacallit, is about this stylist that styles for um for plus size women. So things of that nature. So, there's just a degree. And what you're saying, I get. I try to meet everybody, but it's just bad. You got to meet me. So the half and half. I'll do a little texting, but give me some phone time. I do, I'm just saying. So that's just kind of like that. So
All right, with that, we've come to the end. Did you have anything that you wanted to close out in saying here?
yeah, just a little bit. It's just like, even though we have created these barriers, to every day. It's just practical that we take steps to change this trend now. By constantly just acknowledging others, fostering a culture of openness and just contribute to a more connected and compassionate society. You know, Other
Hmm.
than that, I'm glad we had it. It's come up, it's been talked about a lot, and so I kind of get it. So you still, however that one, you just stay in the energy that you're in. Don't let it be changed because you are who you are.